Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers, this is your host Ram, welcoming you to your daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And well, as far as today's match is going, today was the last day of the round fixtures, and now we are moving into the business end of the tournament. As you know, there is only a semi-final and a final now left in this World Cup 2019 to culminate in England, and I have to say that the semi-final placings have been decided with India taking on New Zealand, with India today winning against Sri Lanka, which had no bearing on what is going to happen, but India beat Sri Lanka today, just for your information, by 7 wickets. They continued their dominance in the World Cup. Rohit Sharma going on to make a record 5th ton in World Cup, hitherto never achieved in the World Cup. This is the first, becomes the first ever player to have 5 tons in a single World Cup. Rohit Sharma, take a bow. And the other match was very, very important. The match was between South Africa and Australia, which is going to determine which team plays whom in the semi-finals. And it was proved today with Australia not able to ace a chase, which was 320 odd runs that they needed to get against South Africa. Even though David Warner scored a century, Alex Carey scored a crisp 83, it was still, the match all the way went down to the wire. Only the tail-enders there in the middle with 18 runs required in the final over. Felix Wayo did a good job, and it was the South Africans winning the match, and that really decided the semi-final placings. And as I said, now the semi-final placings, if you look at it, it is India are taking on New Zealand in the semi-finals, which will be the first semi-final, which will happen on Tuesday. And I think it's only fitting that India take on New Zealand, because India didn't get an opportunity to play against New Zealand. But Australia have some very tough opponents, and hosts England would definitely be eyeing the World Cup, because they are coming very close now, and they are taking Australia. But let's not, we know that England-Australia clash is something which is very, very special. So both are not going to give an inch, one knows about it. Whatever the case may be, so I am out here to actually dwell on 2 matches that happened today. Definitely the most exciting match was the Australia versus South Africa match, which I said went all the way down to the wire. Well, I will be starting off with a match between India and Sri Lanka. So India and Sri Lanka, the match started with Sri Lanka actually batting first and putting on 264 for 7 on the board, and it was a real struggle. Right from the ball 1, they were struggling. Karunaratne, the captain, was consumed by Bumrah as he was caught behind by Dhoni for 10 of 17 deliveries with 2 boundaries. Kushal Perera got a ball from Bumrah which angled across him, and Perera, the ball straightened a bit, and Perera was a goner, caught behind by Dhoni. The bowling of Bumrah for 18 of 14 deliveries, 3 boundaries, and Bumrah was absolutely, as you know, he is someone, it is a given now that Bumrah actually is always bowling on target. Avishka Fernando, we saw some glimpses of his real talent, which he has been doing that every time he has walked into the batting crease there. And today also we saw some beautiful shots, some nice pull shots, some nice drives, some nice, very nice caresses as well. And Avishka Fernando was a victim of a sort of a tomfoolery by Hardik Pandya, as Hardik Pandya actually bowled a slower bouncer, and Fernando, probably taken by surprise, he was shaping in for the hook, but in the process it was a half-hearted shot, and it ended up with Dhoni taking the catch, as it was a slow bouncer from Pandya. Very well done by him. But Fernando was out for 20 of 21 deliveries, 4 fours, and then Kushal Mendis dancing down the wicket to Ravindra Jadeja, and it was an easy stumping for Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He was gone for 3, and which plunged the Sri Lankans into real crisis at 55 for 4 in the 55-4 in the 12th over. And then it took a rescue mission which was staged by Angelo Matthews and Lahiru Thirimani. And Angelo Matthews is someone who played, he definitely, it was, this was a knock which was waiting to be played, and always, as you know, Angelo Matthews has had a good time against India. He has scored 2 tons against India, and today he scored his 3rd ton. He has only 3 tons in his ODI career, and all the tons have come against India. And today the 3rd ton came up, and Angelo Matthews was really confidence personified when you're playing. He really held the innings together. Tirimane gave him good company as the innings strode on. And Angelo Matthews' contribution of 113 of 128 deliveries. He also played the wrist spinner Kuldeep Yadav very well by taking charge and also playing the reverse sweep to an absolutely good effect. 113 of 128 deliveries included 10 fours and 2 sixes. Tirimane contributed 53 of 68 with 4 boundaries. Dhananjay De Silva had a quiet 29 of 36, 1-4, and because he had to see to it that they play the whole 50 overs, that's what he did. Sri Lanka finished 264 for 7. Cesar Pereira was out for 2. Dana was not out on 1. And now 264 for 7, thanks to Matthews, Angelo Matthews, and Tirimane. They reached the target, reached the score. Bhuvneshwar Kumar today, the bowler, was absolutely off colour. His 10 overs went for 73, which is a rare occurrence, 1 for 73. Bumrah 10 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 37 as usual, effective. Pandya 10 overs, 1 for 50. Jadeja did well as well, 10 overs, no maiden, 1 for 40. And Kuldeep Yadav, 10 overs, no maiden, 1 for 58. Now India's turn came. India were to chase this particular target, and what a partnership from these two batsmen. Indian openers KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma once again showed that how they are forging a very good opening partnership, even though Shikhar Dhawan is missing right now. And what a partnership. I mean, Sri Lanka were really searching for a wicket. They did not know where to get the wicket, as the partnership went on to add 189 runs with a score which was just a decent score that Sri Lanka scored. It was always going to be difficult for them with 189 runs partnership forming. Rohit Sharma was just easing into his strokes. KL Rahul was the refreshing feature as both the openers scored centuries. Rohit Sharma, as I said, breaking the record the other day. He had equaled Kumar Sangakkara's record of 4 centuries in a World Cup, and today Kumar Sangakkara, the commentator, was in absolute awe of what Rohit Sharma did, because he already mentioned right at the beginning that he was sure that Harsha Bhogle asked him, and Kumar Sangakkara said that I'm sure this record is going to be wiped out by Rohit Sharma, and it was. And today, what a knock from Rohit Sharma. Absolute pleasure watching this bloke Rohit Sharma bat for India, as he made 103 of 94 deliveries, which included 14 fours and 2 spanking sixes, and one was a very, very monster hit of the bowling of the right arm offie, Dhananjay De Silva. Rohit Sharma, take a bow. I mean, he has become the first ever player in the World Cup history to have scored 5 centuries in a World Cup. That is tremendous stuff according to me, and he's leading the runs tally right now among all the other players, with definitely David Warner following him a close second, no doubt about it. KL Rahul was the most refreshing feature for India, because he is someone who he started off with great promise when on his ODI debut he made a century in a one-day international against Zimbabwe. That was it. And after that, one has not seen Rahul really flower and get on to a big innings. And finally it came, his second ODI century, which would give him a sort of a great feeling. And not only that, it's so refreshing to see that an opener who has replaced Shikhar Dhawan is doing great justice to his, not only his talent, also doing a talent to the justice to the Indian team. And KL Rahul's contribution today was 111 of 118 deliveries, 11 fours and 1 6. It was a truly entertaining partnership, with KL Rahul also a very good stroke maker, and things really purred along beautifully for the Indians. 189. But after that, it was a mere formality. Rahul was out to Malinga, Rohit Sharma to Rajitha, and Lasith Malinga, as you know, was hanging his boots today. This was his last World Cup. He was giving a lot of autographs to people, and what a pity that Lasith Malinga won't be seen in action. But unfortunately, he ended up on the rougher side, as his 10 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 82 was his returns, which was not something he expected on his swan song in the World Cup. Virat Kohli guided the Indians to victory as a mere formality. Not out 34 of 41 deliveries, 3 boundaries. Rishabh Pant was LBW Buldhana for 4. Hardik Pandya hit a boundary, was not out on 7. Game over, India winning the match by 7 wickets. As far as the bowling, as I already talked about, Lasith Malinga, Kasun Rajita was 1 for 47, showed a bit of pace there. Ishur Udana 9.3 overs, 50. Tisra Pereira was the pick of the bowlers, 10 overs, made none for 34, taking pace of the ball at times to really keep the Indians quiet. Dhananjay De Silva bowled 6 overs, which got thrashed for 51 runs, and well, no prizes for guessing. Rohit Sharma was named man of the match. So that was as far as India and Sri Lanka was concerned. Now, India and Sri Lanka match was something which was a mere formality that was to be completed, but the real match that was really one was looking out for is the match between Australia and South Africa. And the reason I say that, because that was going to really decide as to what would happen if Australia win. India would have met England in the semi-finals, so India would be very happy that they are actually meeting New Zealand in the semi-finals, which would be pretty interesting. Now, South Africa and Australia. Looking at the game here, for South Africa, they today really brought their A game into play. Everybody contributed in a very meaningful manner. Aiden Markram had an aggressive 34 of 37 deliveries, which included 6 fours and 1 6. And Quinton de Kock, as you know, when he goes off, he goes like a train, and he did that. He made 52 of 51 deliveries, which included 7 boundaries. And after that, the momentum was greatly sustained by the captain Faf du Plessis, who played some brilliant strokes there. He kept on going, 114 for 2 when Quinton de Kock departed, and after that there was a huge partnership that happened, which really laid the basis for the South Africans scoring in excess of 300, and it was fashioned by the South African captain du Plessis, who made a century of 94 deliveries, which included 7 fours and 2 sixes. And also, let me tell you, du Plessis, he has a good record against Australia as well. Always when he plays against Australia, he has 5 centuries in all formats against Australia, I'm told. And du Plessis played extremely good cricket, and one has to say that he hit one stunning shot of the bowling of Pat Cummins, and that was a real sight to behold, as he just with all his force, the ball coming at 145 clicks, he sent it over the head of Cummins for a 6, and as you know, no fast bowler likes to be treated in such a manner. But nevertheless, he did that. Du Plessis scored a 100. He had a grand partnership there, which was basically what would say 151 runs partnership, and Vander Dussen, who is an improving South African batsman, and in this World Cup, he was thrust into the World Cup, and what a performance from him. Every time he goes to the crease, he has contributed to the South African cause. And today too, we saw that he started off in a very slow manner. He had just 5 runs after consuming 30 balls, but slowly started shifting gears, and when it came to the final bend, he really showed his class by hitting some high strokes for 6s. And finally, Vander Dussen's contribution was 95 of 97 deliveries, 4 fours and 4 sixes. Duminy was out for 14, Pretorius 2, Feluquayo 4, and that was the end. And as you know, Duminy and Imran Tahir were in their swan song of their in World Cup. 325 for 6 was what the South Africans finished with. If you look at the bowling card, Mitchell Starc 9 overs 2 more than 2 for 59. Behrendorff 8 overs 1 for 55. Nathan Lyon had some control over the South African innings to a semblance of for a semblance, one could say. 10 overs no in 2 for 53 his returns. Cummins 9 overs 1 for 66. 1 over none for 5 for Stephen that was used today. Mark Stoinis 3 overs none for 19, and Glenn Maxwell bowled 10 overs, which cost him 57 runs. So good effort by the South Africans, and finally, we all know the verdict was the match went all the way down to the wire, and finally it was the South Africans who clinched victory. Now, looking at the Australian card, Australia were chasing 326 runs to win in the 50 overs, and let's see what they did. Now, David Warner, they lost Aaron Finch pretty quickly. Imran Tahir, who was being given the first over by the captain, as I said, it was his swan song. and he got an important wicket that of Finch. Arun Finch was caught by Markram in the offside of the bowling Imran Tahir for 3, and Imran Tahir did that customary celebration of his by opening his chest and widening his hands and running all the way towards the fence as he normally does. And Arun Finch was gone, so that would have been a good feeling for Imran Tahir playing this last World Cup match of his career. Usman Khwaja was injured, not injured, he basically had a hamstring injury and he had to leave the field, which was very unfortunate. It was quite a different thing that Usman Khwaja had to come for the Australian cause. But probably they tried to do their best, but it could not happen. But David Warner was the common denominator in that whole mix, he and Alex Carey. In fact, Marcus Stoinis was doing his job, giving good company to David Warner as till such time he scored 22. But this is a wonderful sleight of hand, as we call it, which was started. The trend was started by the Indian wicketkeeper Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and today de Kock did something of a Dhoni-esque dismissal. As the throw came in, he just, without even seeing the stumps, he just pushed his hand, and at the back he just pushed the ball into the stumps, and Stoinis was run out in very unfortunate circumstances. It was a big blow to them. And Stephen Smith was out to a beautiful delivery from Pretorius. Pretorius was very, very impressive. He got a very good delivery to Stephen Smith, and it was his, as far as you know, Stephen Smith shuffles onto the offside and tries to work it down the leg side. He was pinned in front, he was gone, LBW. So he was gone, he would have played. That was a big wicket. And suddenly the Australian innings was not looking in good shape at all. And then they also lost Glenn Maxwell in the process, caught by Quinton de Kock of the bowling of Rabada. And that was a brilliant catch. I mean, it was a lifter outside the off stump. Maxwell was tempted into the hook and he got a top edge. The ball seemed to probably fly over the head of the keeper, Quinton de Kock, but de Kock actually leaped and plucked it out of thin air, and that was a fantastic catch. I mean, not an easy catch at all, and that really started putting matters into the South African hands here, with the score reading 119 for 4 in the 25th over. But Warner at one end was doing a great job. He was doing a great job of playing the strokes and also really, I would say, really forming a good innings. And he was the common denominator, was doing a good job. And then he needed someone to stand with him, and that came in the form of a very, very impressive Alex Carey. And he is someone who has really shown, he has been a sort of a revelation in this World Cup for Australia. He has done a splendid job every time he has gone on to bat. His contribution today was 85. He was the one who kept the show going after David Warner, after hitting his 3rd century of the World Cup, departed when Pretorius, Morris took a brilliant catch. I mean, Warner wanted to smoke it through the offside, and Morris took a brilliant catch. I mean, he had to die. The ball was actually going away from him over the mid-on region, and what a timing. I mean, he plunged himself and picked that catch to absolute perfection, and that is what Chris Morris is all about. He's a brilliant fielder, but David Warner and Alex Carey were really threatening the South Africans with a wonderful partnership that was going on. Great guns, according to me, because they had taken the score from 119 in the 25th over, forming a partnership of 108 runs in, one could say, 14 odd overs, or probably 15 odd overs, 14 odd overs, and that was tremendous stuff. That was the one which was giving the hope for the Aussies. But then David Warner was plucked by that brilliant catch by really turned things around. But Alex Carey continued the fight in a brilliant manner in the company of Pat Cummins as things went on. Alex Carey, his strokes, what was good about Alex Carey was the way how he was able to put the ball into the gaps, he was able to place the field. There was some intelligent cricket, I thought, played by Alex Carey, and what a cricketer he's turning out to be for Australia. He did his bit, and when Alex Carey's wicket fell, with Morris taking his wicket with the run rate going up to more than 10 runs per over, that was the time Alex Carey fell after making 85 of 69 deliveries. Markram taking a good catch by diving in at the deep, 85 69 deliveries, which included 11 fours and 1 6. But after that, it was always going to be difficult. Usman Khwaja was sent into the mix, but Usman Khwaja could not play any of the drive shots, so he was trying to maneuver the strokes down to the onside, and it was something that he was trying to do on a regular basis. And then, as you know, Rabada is someone who hits the timber on a very frequent basis. And today, Rabada actually clean bowled Usman Khwaja for 18 as he moved over to put it onto the onside. Cummins was out for 9 with bowling Philip Wayo. Mitchell Starc was castled by Rabada for 16. And after that, once Alex Carey and David Warner fell, it was always going to be, it was next to impossible. And that was what precisely happened. And finally, and then it came into the last over, 18 runs with the 2 tailenders at the wicket. Behendorf and Nathan Lyon was out to the bowling Philip Wayo. Behendorf was not out on 11. And it was all over. But what a match we had. We had a splendid match which finished at Manchester in Old Trafford, with South Africa winning the match by 10 runs. And thus the semi-final placings were decided, where India take on New Zealand in the first semi-final and the Australia take on England in the second semi-finals, and then we march on to the finals. As far as the bowling was concerned, Imran Tahir playing in his last World Cup match of his career. 9 overs, no maiden, 1 for 59. Tremendous stuff from Imran Tahir. Rabada 10 overs, 3 for 56. Bowled his heart out there. Pretorius, according to me, was the most impressive bowler of the lot. 6 overs, 2 maidens, 27 runs and 2 wickets. Chris Morris, 9 overs, 1 for 63, was a bit costly. Shamsi bowled well, but got a bit of tap at the final when 4 overs, 42 runs were taken by Alex Carey and David Warner. 9 overs, no maiden, none for 62. Philip Wayo did not, I thought it was a bit under bowled there. 2.5 overs, no maiden, 22. Duminy, 4 overs, none for 22. Duminy was another man who was playing his last match of his World Cup career. And man of the match, no prizes there. Faf du Plessis, the South African captain for his century, was named man of the match. That's it from me. As I said, now we are getting into the business end of the tournament. The round matches are all over. The World Cup goes into a 2-day rest period right now, and I will be once again talking to you when India will be taking on New Zealand in the semi-finals on Tuesday. Well, this being said, it's a pleasure bringing you this daily cricket show, and it's about time to bid you all goodbye on this cricket show for today. Thank you.